It's time to elevate your everyday moments like a pro with Vivo V30 series. Buy now.
Any summer holidays kannu call GT Holidays ku pannu. GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
அந்த கதாபாத்திரத்தினுடைய பெயர் சொல்ல போறேன். அதுல உங்களுக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த படத்தினுடைய பெயரும் அதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு வைல்டஸ்ட் மெமரியும் எங்களுக்காக. So கோமதி நயம் பிள்ளை.
Kavitharayan, that my wife and me discovered that we were pregnant, and the first person to know that I was going to have a baby even before my own mother or my wife's parents is Siddharth.
So நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, how special Mori film is for you?
MS Bhaskar's character in that film is just, I think, an all-time great character in Indian cinema.
இந்த படத்தினுடைய மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு எலிவேஷன் கொடுத்தது அப்படின்னா இன்னொரு ஃபேக்டர் இஸ் தி மியூசிக் ஆஃப் தி ஃபிலிம். ARR sir,
he became so attached to the film that at one point he said, I want to come to the desert and see where this is being shot. So Rahman sir came to Jordan. He spent 3-4 days with us in the desert. I'm not an expert on politics, but I respect his decision.
In case நீங்க தலபதி அவர்களை வெச்சு டைரக்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருந்தது அப்படினா அது என்ன மாதிரி ஒரு ஜானர்ல வரக்கூடிய கொலாபரேஷனா பார்க்கலாம்?
Love to do a very dark, real, gritty action film.
Vanakkam and a very very warm welcome. So இன்னைக்கு we are in the conversation of the goat life. R Jeevitham lendo we have the protagonist of the film. We have Prithiviraj avargal, amazing an actor, and as well producer and actor we have Jimmy Dean Lewis. So vanakkam, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு, thank you.
Okay, how is life so far ரெண்டு பேருக்குமே?
We are hoping it will be a goat life very soon.
So படத்தோட லிங்க் பண்ணிட்டீங்க இல்லையா? ஸோ உண்மையாலுமே எனக்கு ட்ரெய்லர் பார்க்கும்போது இட் வாஸ் லிட்டில் ஹாண்டிங், கொஞ்சம் பயமாகவும் இருந்தது அப்படின்னே சொல்லலாம். இன்கேஸ் நம்ம வெளிநாட்டில் போய் செட்டில் ஆகணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கனவுல போய் அப்படி மாட்டிக்கிட்டா என்ன பண்ணுறது அப்படின்னு ஒரு பெரிய கேள்வியும் வந்தது. உங்களுக்கு இந்த படத்தில் இந்த கேரக்டர் அடாப்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி ஹோம்ஒர்க் உள்ள போச்சு and how difficult was that for you?
ஸோ இந்த கதை ஒரு வெளிநாட்டிலே போய் ட்ராப் ஆகிற, இட்ஸ் நாட் அபவுட் another country or it's not of course that's all part of the story, but the tale in itself is about things that are much deeper than that. It's about entrapment, confinement, solitude, spirituality, faith. In the mari deeper vishayangal are actually the pillars of the tale, so to speak. But having said that, it's a true story, you know. It was something that someone actually lived through, and the aal thank God he's amongst us, alive and well. He fought through this, he survived this, and he got to the other end of this experience to be able to tell his story to the world.
And if I'm right, அவருடைய முதல் இந்தியன் film அப்படினு சொல்லலாம். So your first Indian film, how was that for you as an experience?
It's a great way to start diving into the Indian cinema because it's a wonderful story based on a true story with wonderful actor here, and Blessi, the director, I think is amazing as well, and the location that we shot at were amazing. So for me, it's like, I mean, what a way to have an introduction into the Indian cinema. It was wonderful.
இப்போ அடுத்ததாக I have a segment for you. So நீங்க நடிச்ச தமிழ் படங்கள்ல இருந்து அந்த கதாபாத்திரத்தினுடைய பெயர் சொல்ல போறேன். அதுல உங்களுக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த படத்தினுடைய பெயரும் அதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு வைல்டஸ்ட் மெமரியும் எங்களுக்காக ஷேர் பண்ணனும் அப்படிங்கிறது is I wish.
ஒரு தமிழ் படம் பண்ணி like it's been 10-11 years I think.
That's why we want to reminisce all the memories. So கோமதி நயம் பிள்ளை,
Kavitharayan.
படப்பிடிப்பு தளத்துல நடந்த ஒரு wildest or craziest memory that you can share for us?
I met a very good friend, Siddharth. You know, I didn't know him before that film at all, and I think I also met Vedika for the first time during that film. Then we got to work in another film. The biggest memory I have about that film is, it was during the shoot of that film that my wife and me discovered that we were pregnant. And the first person to know that I was going to have a baby, even before my own mother or my wife's parents, is Siddharth.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. அடுத்ததாக தேவ் பிரகாஷ் சுப்ரமணியன் அவர்கள் எந்த படமா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்?
கண்ணாமூச்சி என்றாவா?
இல்ல,
சத்தம் போடாதே.
இதே கான்வர்சேஷன்ல கொஞ்ச நேரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி அந்த படத்தினுடைய பெயரை நீங்க மென்ஷன் பண்ணிருந்தீங்க.
அப்படியே தேவ்? ஓ, தேவ் இஸ் ராவணன்.
Yes. ராவணன். So
when you said the full name I got confused.
Okay, தேவ் ராவணன் படத்துல இருந்து. So ராவணன் அந்த படம் உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு ஸ்பெஷல்? அந்த படத்துல இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு மெமரி எங்களுக்காக.
I mean, it's, you know, every actor wants that one Maniratnam film at least in his
Yes.
career. I mean, and for me, on the time I was what? When he called me for that film, I was 24, 25, I think, I'm not sure. I was
Okay.
very, very young. And I had just, started to find my space in Malayalam cinema. And I was beginning to sort of do like kind of work I wanted to in Malayalam cinema. And I remember one day I get a call saying, this is from Madras Talkies, and Maniratnam sir would like to meet you. Can you come to Chennai? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come to Chennai. So I'm going there thinking whatever character it is I'm going to do, because even if it's like 5 minutes, I just want to have that experience of working with Mani sir. I'm going there with that. And then he offers me one of the central leads of the film. And I was very flattered. I mean, it was at that point in my career, it was like a big certificate for me as an actor that, okay, Mani Ratnam thought that I am good enough to play this character in this big giant film he's making. And my memory about that film is entirely about watching this genius at work, how he conceives scenes and how he, sort of brings his own narrative to each moment in the film. And for me, it was at that point in time the biggest film I've ever done. And when I'm on set, there is Aishwarya Rai, there's Abhishek Bachchan, there's Vikram, there is Govinda sir, there's Karthik sir. And so I remember the first schedule when we were shooting, all the Hindi crew especially are like, who's this? They all of course knew who Aishwarya Rai was, who Abhishek was, who Vikram was, and they're like, who? And I remember everybody having this hush thing about nobody knows who he is, but if Maniratnam, yeah, exactly. But if Maniratnam has cast him, then he must be good, you know. So, yeah.
Alright. அடுத்ததாக கார்த்திக்.
That's Mori.
மொழி என்னுடைய ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச ஒரு திரைப்படம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். அந்த படத்துல வந்து உங்களுடைய காம்பினேஷன் வித் பிரகாஷ் ராஜ் சார் வந்து வாஸ் லைக், இப்போவும் அந்த சீன்ஸ் எல்லாம் திருப்பி பார்க்கும்போது அப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு மெமரி இல்லையா? ஸோ நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, ஹவு ஸ்பெஷல் மொழி ஃபிலிம் இஸ் ஃபார் யூ, அண்ட் அதுல நடந்த
very special film. I still rate it as one of the finest films I have done. And actually, as a student of cinema, I would rate the script of Mori as one of the finest pieces of writing in modern Indian films. Other reference material actually. How you can have just a few characters and take a subject as evocative as a deaf and dumb girl falling in love with a musician, where his entire life and craft is about sound. And you narrate the entire tale in a funny way, where you make people laugh. That's amazing. I think only Radha Mohan can pull something like that off. It's an amazing film and so beautifully written. And M.S. Bhaskar's character in that film is just, I think, an all-time great character in Indian cinema.
அடுத்ததாக சிவா.
Shiva's which film? Parijatam?
No.
Arey yaar.
நினைத்தாலே இனிக்கும்.
Oh, yeah. So I'll tell you why. With Nenithale Inikim, because it's a remake.
Yeah.
And it's a remake of my own film. So with Nenithale Inikim, I still relate to Suku, the name from the original.
Yes.
So, which is why. So, when I think of that film and that character, the name that comes to me is from Classmates, the Malayalam version, which is why, yeah.
Okay. Very nice. அடுத்ததாக நஜீப் முகமது. 16 years காத்துட்டு இருந்த இந்த திரைப்படம். ஒரு படம் எடுக்கிறோம், அது 1 or 2 years பண்றோம், ரிலீஸ் ஆகுது, அதுக்கப்புறம் இட் இஸ் பிகமிங் அ ஹிட் ஆர் நாட், அதுக்கப்புறம் அடுத்த படம் இப்படின்னு இல்லாம ஒரு படத்துக்காக முழுமையான ஒரு ஹார்ட் ஒர்க், எவ்ரிபடி இஸ் டூயிங் தட். பட் ஆனால் ஒரு 16 years ஒரே படத்துக்காக கன்சிஸ்டண்டா அதுக்காக வெயிட் பண்ணி எகெயின் இந்த ரிலீஸ்லயும் அதே எனர்ஜியை வந்து விட்டு கொடுக்காம நீங்க வச்சிருக்கிறது இஸ் லைக் ட்ரூலி இன்ஸ்பைரிங், அண்ட் தி பேஷன் தட் யூ ஹேவ் ஃபார் யுவர் ஆர்ட்.
Oh, if you want to be truly inspired, the person you must be talking to is the director of the film, Blessi. We
are missing him here.
Yeah, I mean, நான் வந்து என்னத்தா பெருசா பண்ணேன். I mean, like between 2008 and 2024, I have done so many films. Like I've just taken you through the course of my life. I have done so many films. I have directed films. I have produced films. I have distributed films. Blessi has done only one film. He's just held on to this.
His dedication is like remarkable.
And it is not like he was a struggling director trying to do his first film. When he decided to do this film, he was the #1 director of Malayalam. He still is one of the top directors of Malayalam, the most coveted directors of Malayalam. And back in 2008, 2009, he was the highest paid director of Malayalam. When he decided that he's going to do this film, and he stuck with the vision for 16 years, at the commitment,
Yeah, we really miss him here. I think இன்னைக்கு அவர் வந்திருப்பாருன்னு நினைச்சோம். அவர்கிட்டயும் நிறைய கேள்விகள் இருந்தது. பட் whatever wherever அவருக்கும் ஒரு பெரிய விஷஸ் இந்த நேரத்துல. சார் ஆக்சுவலா நீங்க ஒரு ஆக்டர், ஒரு ப்ரொடியூசர், ஒரு சிங்கர், டிரெக்டர், and you have so many versions of you. இதுல உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச ஒரு பரிமாணம்னா அது என்னவா இருக்கும் சார்?
Actor தான். My primary craft is acting.
Okay.
And that is who I am. That is what that is a craft that binds me to cinema. But having said that, I'm a student of cinema.
And you do it very effortlessly. To be very honest, நீங்க வந்து direct பண்ணாலும் சரி, act பண்ணாலும் சரி, there's always one craze for you. ஒரு bunch of fans அது எப்பவுமே இருக்காங்க. I'm a big fan of you, to be very honest.
Thank you so much.
On that note, இந்த படம் is a pan-Indian film and இப்போ you're a pan-Indian actor. So உங்களுடைய mindset இப்போ எப்படி இருக்குன்னா, நம்ம வந்து ஒரு 5 years back or 10 years back movies வந்து பார்க்கும்போது இருக்கிற mindset-ம் இப்போ மக்களுக்கான mindset-ம் நிறையவே elevate ஆயிருக்கு. இப்போ வந்து pan-Indian film அப்படின்னு ஒரு term கூட coin பண்ணி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் சொல்றோம். சில படங்கள் வந்து பட்ஜெட் கம்மியா இருந்தாலுமே அது தானாக தன்னுடைய கிரியேஷனால வந்து pan Indian ஃபிலிமா மாறிட்டு வருது. நீங்க வந்து how do you see yourself ஒரு நார்மல் ஸ்டாராக பாக்குறீங்களா இல்ல ஒரு pan Indian actor, so I have such responsibilities அப்படினு பாக்குறதுண்டா?
See, one thing that we all have to be aware of is you cannot make a pan Indian film.
Alright.
You can only make a good film, and then you can provide that good film with the best platform available for it to be accessible by people around the country, around the world.
Okay.
You can make sure that you put a good system in place and invest enough time, money, and effort into that system so that people are able to see the film. So we believe we have made a good film, and which is why we were very adamant that in every territory, regardless of how big or small this film is, we want it to be distributed by market leaders, you know.
Right.
I remember I called Uday and I said in the Mari padam, you know, it's a passion project, and it took us 16 years to make this film, and it's the biggest film to be coming from Malayalam. It would be a privilege if Red Giant can distribute this film for me in Tamil Nadu. And just that one phone call, he was so, I think the artist in him understood what we were trying.
The passion for the film.
He understood. I think he spotted what must have gone behind such an effort, and immediately he said yes. And then Hombale for Karnataka, of course Hombale is like, you know, as an associate, we work together a lot now. Maitri, again, it was one phone call. They're doing Andhra Telangana. Anil Tadhani for the Northern Circuit. So that is all that we can do. Now, whether the film will eventually become a pan-Indian film or not, nobody knows. That is not in our hands.
Okay.
So எல்லாருமே வந்து, I think I've been part of so many discussions where, you know, producers and corporate houses and studios are like, we have to try and make this pan-Indian. You can't.
But I was asking this question ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு வந்து மஞ்சுமல் பாய்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு செலிப்ரேஷனாக மாறி இருக்கு, எஸ்பெஷலி இன் தமிழ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். ஸோ அந்த படம் எடுக்கிறச்ச வந்து இவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு முயற்சி, இது வந்து இவ்வளோ ரெக்கக்னைஸ் ஆகணும் அப்படிங்கிறது அவனுடைய நோக்கமாகவே இல்லை. ரொம்ப ஒரு சின்ன பட்ஜெட் ஃபிலிமாக எடுத்தது இன்னைக்கு இவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு ஹிட் கொடுத்துருக்கு இல்லையா? பட் ஆனால் ஒரு சில படங்கள் பேன் இண்டியன் ஃபிலிம் இவ்வளோ எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன்ஸோட வருது. ஸோ அதுக்கும் இதுக்கும் நீங்கள் என்ன மாதிரி டிஃப்ரென்சஸ் பார்க்குறீங்க?
Expectation is associated with multiple things. Like, why is this film so anticipated, at least in Kerala, is because everyone knows the story behind making the film, and everyone knows the story of Najib. Before it ever became a film, Najib's story was a smash hit novel. Benjamin's Aadu Jeevitham, the book, to date is one of the largest selling books in the history of Malayalam. So Najib's tale is like, you know, it's like Malayali folklore now. Everyone knows about Najib and his life, and they're all waiting to see the cinematic version of that story. So adinala there's a lot of expectation. It's a Blessi film after so long, and Blessi is a very coveted filmmaker for our industry. We are very proud of his filmography. You know, multiple national award winner.
Right.
Every film of his is something that you
most recognized.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a brilliant filmmaker, and he's taken such a long break. He's given 16 years of his life for this film, and because of that there is anticipation. Everyone knows the kind of time and effort I have invested into this film, and people respect that. You know, people give me love for that. There is anticipation because of that. They know the world-class technicians associated with the film.
Transformation that you went through as well.
Yeah, correct. I mean, they know that I put in the effort. The world-class technicians associated with the film, the world-class cast we have, like Jimmy, and, you know, Talib and Rick
and the music by
Raman sir. So multiple reasons. So anticipation actually might come from various reasons. What happens in the film after release is something that's not in your control. It's, you can spend 25 crores on marketing and nothing can happen. Or you can just release a film like Manjumal Boys and everything can happen. So that's not in your control. But நீங்க சொல்ற Manjumal Boys வந்து சின்ன பட்ஜெட்ல பண்ணி they did it. You're right. It's not like a 100 crore film, right? It's made in a very small budget and it's done amazing numbers.
Yes.
There was a Kantara a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Kantara's budget is lesser than Manjumal Boys.
Right.
And it did 400 crores.
Yeah.
So budget and all has got nothing to do with what happens in the film eventually. Yeah.
Very, very well said. And I should definitely ask you, you're being in India right now for the promotions of the goat life. So were you able to learn something out of the Indian culture or something that interests you in Indian culture?
I'm still a novice because I think India is so big that I'm still discovering, all the different regions and all the different languages. So I'm learning, really.
He's still figuring out which wood is what. Like Bollywood, Tollywood, Mollywood.
Yeah, I know. But you have to understand that coming from abroad, we pack everything under one thing, which is Bollywood.
Yeah.
All Indian movies for us, we think it's Bollywood. Yeah. So it's only now that I'm realizing that no, not at all. South has their own movie, and then I can see the 5-6 different languages here, and they all do different kind of movies.
Okay.
So it's all new to me.
All right. Ipa varaku, what and all you have figured out? Woodsle, Hollywood, Tollywood, whatever you know. As in?
Bollywood.
Bollywood. Straight shot.
Yeah. Now I'm going to know the other ones, but up until now, it's been Bollywood.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I think in the படத்துக்கு இன்னொரு elevation கொடுத்தது.
But it's also because Bollywood is the one that's marketed itself outside of India.
Yeah.
It's all about marketing.
Right.
Outside of India, the only thing you hear about is Bollywood.
Okay.
So that's just the marketing aspect of it. It doesn't mean that, I don't know the different kind of movies. It doesn't mean it's the best kind of movies that they're doing, but that's the name that's been branded the best,
All right. I think இந்த படத்தினுடைய மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு எலிவேஷன் கொடுத்தது அப்படின்னா இன்னொரு ஃபேக்டர் இஸ் தி மியூசிக் ஆஃப் தி ஃபிலிம் ஏஆர்ஆர் சார். ஸோ இந்த படம் அவர் பார்த்துட்டாரா இல்லை இந்த படத்துக்குள்ள அவர் வரும்போது அவருடைய அந்த கான்வர்சேஷன் எப்படி இருந்தது? அவரோட இருந்த
பார்த்துதான் ஆகணும் இல்லை, அவர் தான் மியூசிக் கொடுத்தாரு, படம் பார்த்துதான் ஆகணும். Of course he's seen the film multiple times. So when I said yes to the film back in 2009, the first name that the director and me discussed was we have to somehow get A.R. Rahman sir. We have to try at least to get A.R. Rahman sir.
Right.
And on the time he had just, I think, won the Oscar for Slumdog Millionaire, and we didn't even know how to get to him. Although Rahman sir's debut was in Malayalam, later on he became a superstar in Tamil, then a national superstar, and then an international superstar. So at that time, I think he was working out of LA. I don't know. We didn't even know how to access Rahman sir. But finally we managed. And the mark of a genius is not just that they are very good with their craft, they're also able to spot when there is special art being made. So Rahman sir, we finally managed to get access to him, and the very first narration, or half an hour, 45 minutes la idhu dhaan and padathoda idea angra mari sonna udane he said I'll do it. He said I'll do it. And you won't believe this, when we first went to Rahman sir, I think we were talking to him about one song and the re-recording of the film. As we speak today, the film has 4 songs, and then more songs in the OST track, and then the re-recording. And he became so attached to the film that at one point he said, I want to come to the desert and see where this is being shot. So Rahman sir came to Jordan. He spent 3-4 days with us in the desert. And and it was his idea. He when he came there, he said, we should do a song about hope, because that is the underlying beacon in the film. So we should do a song about hope, even if it's not in the film. We should do it at least as a promo song. So the hope song is his idea. And I've had the privilege of working with Rahman sir for 2 other films before this. One is Ravanan and one is Vasantha Balan's Kavyathalaivan. But what he's done for this film is absolute magic.
Very, very amazing or beautiful collaboration is what we get to know. And இந்த படத்தினுடைய டைட்டில் கோட் லைஃப் அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது everybody immediately remembers goat அப்படிங்கிறது தளபதி அவர்களுடைய படம் அடுத்ததாக வர இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So his step into politics, இதை நீங்க எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க? For a star to get into politics, the first thing, and the second thing, அவருடைய ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு ஜோன்ல இருக்காரு, நிறைய ஃபேன்ஸ், ஒரு this is what he has worked for so many years இல்லையா? So இந்த டைம்ல சினிமாவை விட்டு பாலிடிக்ஸ் போறது நீங்க எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க? And his way of getting into politics, நீங்க எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க? How is that approach for you?
I'm not an expert on politics, but I respect his decision. அவர் வந்து one of the biggest stars of the country. And for him to decide that he wants to, this is what he wants to do at this point in his life, எவ்வளோ conviction இருந்திருக்கணும், you know, for him to decide that no. Imagine, even things like money, how much, what he could have done, you know, and for him to think, and I'm sure he's fully aware of it. அது தெரிஞ்சுதான் he's making that decision that no, I'm going to let this go and I'm going to do this because this is what I'm passionate about. And the conviction ku vandu you have to give respect. Right. Everything else is secondary, and I wish him all the very best.
Okay. You are a director yourself, so இப்போ அவர் அடுத்த படங்கள் பண்ண மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாலும் கூட இன்கேஸ் நீங்க தளபதி அவர்களை வச்சு டிரெக்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருந்தது அப்படின்னா அது என்ன மாதிரி ஒரு ஜானர்ல வரக்கூடிய கொலாபரேஷனா பார்க்கலாம்?
Love to do a very dark, real, gritty action film with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. What do you wish to say to the audience for people who wanted to watch Goat Life? What is one thing that you would like to share about the film?
The greatest of all time life.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You know, it's inspiring. They'll come out of there feeling that they've traveled. They went through a real journey with us, with the characters, with the music, with the message, and yeah, it's extremely inspiring. So I will encourage everybody to go out there and watch The Goat Life because they'll come out of there changed somehow.
Right. ஒட்டுமொத்த டீமுக்குமே என்னோட பெரிய பெரிய விஷஸ். I had a great time hosting this conversation. In interviewக்காக சொல்ல, I really mean it.
Thank you so much.
And நான் முன்னாடியே சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த 16 years wait for a film is like truly inspiring and we really look forward to see the film in theaters. So wishing all luck and directorக்கும் எங்களோட பெரிய வாழ்த்துக்கள். Thank you. I had a great time.
Thank you so much.
It's time to elevate your everyday moments like a pro with Vivo V30 series. Buy now.
Any summer holidays kannu call GT Holidays ku pannu. GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.